See the blue sign, the vertical one right below it? That's the satire. Well, every Sunday during football season, from age 7 to 18, it was where we met up with 30 or 40 people that bought season tickets through Pete Contos, who owned the Satire, Pete's Kitchen, Pete's University Cafe, Giro Place, good family friends. And we'd eat some Mexican food from 10 until 11:30 or 12, and then hop on a bus with 40 people and take that to the Broncos game at the old Mile High Stadium. Ton of fun, of course, but all the adults, not me, those ages, would hop on. There'd be a big red cooler full of just Budweiser, Bud Heavy, nothing else. Each guy and gal would walk on and grab 2 or 3 beers for the road, go to the game. And during those years with Elway and everything, we had a pretty good run. So usually most games were left pretty happy, and everyone was required to get back to the bus hopefully 20 or 30 minutes before the game ended, which didn't always happen for lots of reasons. But eventually got back to the Satire. My dad would sit and hang out with some of his friends. I'd have some cherry cokes and play on the only video game machine there at the time, which was probably like an Atari of some sort, which there it is. Ton of fun. Let's go in there. They've changed it a little bit, so it doesn't look the same as it did 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I guess I'm getting quite a bit older. 30 years ago. Just dated myself. So yeah, special place for me. Sean Clancy. I'm a wealth advisor at Prime Capital Investment Advisors. Born and raised in Denver, work with individuals, families, business owners on kind of everything incorporated with their financial picture. We moved back here to Denver in 2013. A couple years later, a good buddy of mine said, "Hey, do you want to go do a daddy-daughter dance at a place called Esther's?" Never heard of it. Looked up the address, and when I pulled into the parking lot, I was wondering if this was a place where I was going to bring my 6-year-old daughter into. Unique part of town, not your typical tech center, downtown environment. The second you walked in and had the atmosphere and a wonderful experience with my sweet little Nellie Clancy. That was the first time I'd been here. And then why I come back all the time is I think a lot of people in our industry get caught up in going to the same place for lunch that everybody knows. So my goal is to start bringing people to a place they haven't been, show them a new part of town, come to a place with great service, phenomenal food. So it's just outside of the normal world of, I think, our industry of where you feed people. I'm a big IPA guy for beers, pale ales. They rotate their taps all the time. So I think one of the first times I came here, they had the Melvin IPA on tap, which is sometimes harder to find. The fact that they rotate it and then they serve your beer in the actual brewer that brews the beer, I think is super cool. And their food, if you like pizza, they've got all these unique pizzas that they create. So that's number one. And then if you ever get a chance to have some of the unique wings that they'll put on the menu, I think at one point there was like a blueberry spicy wing that we ordered. So it changes, and you know you're going to find something different each time you come. Well, a hidden gem in Colorado, maybe not just Denver, is Marble, Colorado. A lot of people will head down to Aspen, Carbondale, that Glenwood Springs area, but Marble is a town of, I think, 100 people, large marble quarry that produce a bunch of the marble for Washington, D.C. and a lot of places that people would recognize. No cell phone service, no Wi-Fi, so it's really getting off the grid. You can fly fish, go to my favorite restaurant in the world, which is Slow Groovin' Barbecue. But I haven't talked to many people who have ever heard of Marble when I say it, so hopefully that doesn't unearth a secret they don't want, but I'm sure they would take more people coming there. Well, I think the hard part right now for anyone following the big bands is getting tickets, having to go to the secondary market to pay astronomical prices when you can go to these smaller venues and see bands that you've probably seen before potentially. Go to great restaurants where you can walk right across the street. You don't have to park a mile away. You don't have to fight the crowds. Much more cost-efficient way to have probably more fun than being around 15,000 other people that might be having way too much fun. coming to these events is just such an easier path of least resistance to enjoying music, more intimate setting. There's nothing wrong with the big concerts. I still love going to those, but if given the choice, I would pick a small venue every day of the week. I love the Bluebird because you're gonna see bands that haven't made it to Red Rocks, and everyone focuses on Red Rocks here in Colorado, which nothing to take away from probably the greatest venue in the country, but I've seen so many good acts and bands before they actually made it to Red Rocks, and be in a small venue with 500 people, 700 people, get right up front, give high fives to the band members, meet them afterwards, and then get to go see them when they make it is such a cool experience. Plus you get to support bands that haven't made it yet. My advisor partners know I'm a pretty big heavy metal guy, so if like Avenged Sevenfold and Chevelle and Slipknot are still playing in their 60s and 70s, I'll be there. But I like a lot of the old stuff, the Revivalists, who I saw here in 2014 or 15. They were at Red Rocks 2 years later. Bob Schneider, great folk guy. Wife loves him, I love him. So who knows? Just looking at that list, there's a bunch of bands I already know that are playing here. So I'll keep coming. We're at Meadow Hills Golf Club off of Parker Road in Hampton, pretty close to Cherry Creek Reservoir. Used to be a private country club years ago, been public for a really long time, but still one of those old courses with lots of trees, tight fairways. But growing up playing here throughout high school and as a young kid, and then now moving back to Denver 10 years ago and getting to come back and play and kind of unearth all those memories and then make new ones with my longtime buddies, and of course getting a chance to play with my son and my dad has been, it's just been such a cool experience coming back here. So this was my home course, playing high school golf every day after school, drive over here and play 9 holes. It's the easiest sport in high school. Come out here, play barefoot often, which is a lot of fun, but even after high school and playing on the golf team, this is still kind of one of those central spots for a lot of my buddies that didn't leave Colorado after college. We come back here and it's just a traditional place that will come. We're all familiar with it. Not overly crowded. It's an old course, there's trees. Golf in Colorado has gotten so crowded, so kind of post-COVID, everyone's outdoors doing things. But I still feel like Meadow Hills is a little bit of a hidden gem that isn't as overpopulated as a lot of the other courses. I mean, I grew up playing golf with my dad a ton. That was a big part of growing up with my dad, was playing golf. And now my son is starting to get way into it, has a golf bug. But my dad, myself, and my son have never played together. I don't think a full round. It's been probably 10 years since my dad has played. And we came out here on my birthday, June 2nd, earlier this year, and the three of us came out and got 18 holes in for the first time ever, which was special in itself. But to do it here, where I've played so many rounds and have a lot of great memories, it was perfect. It was a day like this. Yeah, I couldn't beat it. We had the best day. Everyone has this misconception that Denver and Colorado is always snowy and cold, but I think it's December 6th as we're walking around, and it's 65 degrees, and it was 30 just a few days ago. So I think the weather attracts most people, all the outdoor activities. There's something for everyone, maybe minus the ocean. Tough to beat out here. I was born, 15 minutes from here. My parents moved here in the late 70s. I left for, 13 years. I went to school in Kansas. Not many people leave Colorado for Kansas. And I started coming back here, getting introduced to new clients, and come back to weather like this and seeing friends and the outdoor activities. We decided to move back, raise our kids here. It's tough to beat. The secret's out, which is fine, but love being part of a growing city. Yeah, I don't know that we would leave this place. There's few cities and states that offer everything that Colorado has, so love it here and don't envision leaving anytime soon.